What up?
Hello. Um, just learned that Pierce Brosnan is Irish.
You thought he was just named like that?
Is Brosnan Irish?
I don't know, but like the whole name together sounds Irish.
Well, I thought he was British because of because of James Bond.
They gotcha.
But also, I don't know, but also American. Never would I have thought Irish. But hey, whatever.
Whatever.
Um, Becca, I need to share with you some Broadway news that is big, is happening, and I'd love to hear your opinion on. You know the show, Maybe Happy Ending.
I do.
Okay. Have I told you the plot?
Two robots leave Robot Town, go to Person Town to do something.
They go to see fireflies, but the important part is that it's set in Korea. Okay?
Yeah.
The two main leads are Asian. Um, yeah. Okay. Because it's set in Korea. But the main girl, Helen J. Shen, is um so I was just talking to you about Andrew Barth Feldman, wasn't I? Like a you don't know nothing. Okay, so Andrew Barth Feldman, he's a Broadway guy. He is currently dating Helen J. Shen. Andrew Barth Feldman he was like Evan in Dear Evan Hansen. He popped off originally because of his Jimmy Awards performance, and he's been in some other things. Um, he is replacing Darren Criss as the other lead in Maybe Happy Ending for 9 weeks. Okay, so he's doing a limited run, 9 weeks. He's the guy, and I saw this announcement and I was like, oh my gosh, so cute. Him and Helen J. Shen together, amazing. Andrew Barth Feldman, so talented. We love him. This is incredible. I cannot wait for this. And then the internet went off. They were like, this is crazy. This cannot happen. He's not Asian. He can't play this role. They're taking away roles from Asians, and they're like, the point of this play is to highlight Koreans or Asian people of Asian descent, and him playing this role is completely like just not okay. And I am not Asian, so I can't
What?
truly. I know. I know. I truly can't speak on that part of it, but it never even like I don't know. Like to me, I was just thinking, oh my gosh, Andrew and Helen, so cute. I'm all for that. Um, and the people, I think it was the writers of Maybe Happy Ending, put out a statement. A lot of the actors in the show have put out statements about this, and basically the gist of the writers, or kind of everybody's, was like, or okay, the gist of the writers' statement was like, we did not write the show is about Korea, yes, and we're very happy that it has spotlighted Korea and all things surrounding that Asian culture or whatever, but we did not specifically write these roles to be Asian. So therefore like it's like you know that gist. But then the internet was like, well, then why is literally everybody in the cast Asian and even all the understudies are Asian? That doesn't make any sense. So do you have any thoughts about this?
Um, I feel like sometimes it's relevant for people to look certain ways. Like, it's hard to do West Side Story if you only have West Side Story is what come to my mind. Whenever I'm in a theater class, that's what they always use. They're like, "Don't be upset if you can't be so and so because you don't look the part." Like that's always what they say. Like you need people who look different or who act different or whatever. But also, I feel like most of the time, You can put whoever. I have no
This
thoughts on this particular
that was
situation.
another point that in the writer's statement they said that it's like we're incredibly grateful that like Asian people of Asian descent have gotten roles in Hadestown and I can't remember all the examples they use or like Dear Evan Hansen or Hamilton or like that and they were like the role itself which is this is kind of my stance on it where it's like again I have not seen the play I know it is set in Korea but like from what know about the play and just listening to the songs the main two people themselves don't rely on being Korean. Again, they're robots. So that it in itself is like can be anything. But like the role itself does not rely on it being Korean. So why can't it be switched out? If we applied those rules to every single role ever, like then, take Hamilton for example. Hamilton is about founding fathers' times. No, there's none of them, all of them would be white men, and that is not the cast of Hamilton. So, like, it goes both ways, so you can't be mad when it goes one way versus the other. Does that make sense? Is that?
I mean, I agree to an extent. Yeah.
Anyways, I just had to share with you what's going on in the Broadway stratosphere
Thanks.
because
I enjoyed the little update.
yeah,
I don't update myself, so I'm just on you.
yep. You're so welcome. On a completely different note, Um, I went and saw Fantastic Four.
Oh,
I originally had told Becca that she had to see this movie um, because it was going to be big news and I needed to hear her thoughts on it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to see this movie right now and I don't feel like I can drag Becca with me. So I'm just going to be educating you again. And there will be spoilers later on in the video. I'm going to get through a lot of non-spoiler stuff first, but then I will spoil some things. And um what I'm going to try to do is whenever I watch these movies without Becca, I'm going to either like really try to sell it or not. So just be aware of that, okay? Um but before we actually get into Fantastic Four, um in the theater, trailers, loving. Actually, there's been, I don't know, just in my life and things I've been listening to or online or whatever, I've seen a lot of discussion about trailers before movies in the movie theaters and how people don't want to see the trailers and how they want the time, like when you buy tickets online, to be the time the movie starts and not the time the trailer starts because they want to show up right when the movie starts. And I absolutely hate this idea. First of all, I love the trailers. I look forward
I
to seeing the
love the
trailers.
trailers.
I love the trailers. I'm going to talk about two of the trailers right now. The other thing is, people are late, no matter what time it says on the website, whether they were there for the trailers or not. They are late, they are late, they are late. And I do not want people walking in during the movie. Distracting, I don't like it. I have a huge problem with people distracting me while I'm watching movies or like if I'm really trying to watch a movie, like you and I, we share this. Like if people are talking during a movie, let me just pause this really quick and you say your thing and then I'll play it. But I
People
don't want it
hate
going on at the
that.
same
They
time.
hate that. What I'm watching a movie, maybe I put this movie on for myself. Maybe we're watching a movie as a group, but then y'all start talking out. I'll like pause it, and everyone's like, "Ah, why are you pausing it? This is not what." I was like, "You're the one talking. Like, I paused it for you. I paused it for me. Like, why are you getting mad?"
Yeah. I specifically remember one time, it was the 4th of July one year, and we had put on Top Gun. And we were watching the movie because we generally wanted to watch the movie. And then a bunch of people started to show up because we are having a barbecue, 4th of July or whatever. And we decided it was like our family that was watching Top Gun, but then other families started to show up. And we decided that because it was getting loud and people or whatever. Fine, do your thing. We decided to we left and went downstairs to finish the movie. And after we did that, I remember people would be like, "Oh, couldn't watch the movie up here, like you had to go watch it." And we're like, "Yeah, because you were being too loud and we didn't want to be rude by like turning the movie up super loud or being like, "Hey, can you stop talking?" So we left to go watch the movie in peace, and you still got mad? Like,
We
what?
they there were many comments about that. There were so and which like they always make comments when when you're like, oh, okay, can you be quieter? Oh, let me just turn this up real loud or this or whatever. Like then the comments never stop. And when they're watching stuff, they'll do the exact same thing where like they'll just turn it up louder or they'll be like, are you gonna just pay attention to what we're watching? I'm like,
Mhm.
can't be two ways.
One of my least favorite things is like, "Oh, just turn on the subtitles." Excuse me? I don't want the subtitles on the
I know what
screen.
they're saying. I've seen this movie before. I don't want to read the movie. I want to watch the movie.
Yeah. It's not the whole subtitles discussion is its like own thing because people are like, "Oh, you just can't read fast." I'm like, "No, I get distracted by the words." You know what I do? Okay, this is just I do this in life always, and it's becoming a problem. I like count how many words are in sentences or stuff and see if it's even or odd. It's so bad. It's anyways. So like I just get genuinely distracted by the words. I'm not paying attention
With
to the movie.
subtitles, I feel like I've kind of converted a little because I 100% agree that like there's words at the bottom I have to read them. Like I can't look at what's going on when I'm reading the words. And
Yeah.
I'm not a slow reader. I 100 I'm not a slow reader at all. I can read all the words and see what's going on, but you have to read all the words first, and that's what freaking distracts me so much. Even if I can hear them clearly, or like what was I watching the other day? We have some movies that we have that I think it's maybe Star Wars or something. Star Wars would make sense. Where when you watch it with the subtitles off, when they speak in a different language, there'll be subtitles on, but the different versions we have, only the subtitles for like the translations are on when you turn on all of the subtitles. I think it was Star Wars because I think it was Jabba the Hutt.
Mm.
Where I spent like it was probably a good 20 minutes worth of my time pausing and turning them on and turning them off to watch the movie as much as I could without subtitles, but still turning it on to read when they spoke. Because like even though I do know what they say, I've seen this movie a million times. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I say I'm a convert, I just been like when you oh my goodness, I'm not speaking very good today. When you watch enough, like it's the same thing where you have to read the words, but now like it doesn't bug you as much. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm a subtitles off still, but
Yeah, I hate a
which
subtitle.
ones?
Um, so two of the trailers that specifically popped out to me before I watched Fantastic Four. Number one, well, actually, okay, I saw three trailers that day. One was on Instagram and two was in the theater. One, new trailer for Zootopia 2. Interesting.
I thought that was gonna be a series forever
No,
ago.
no, movie. Zootopia 2. So you should check that out. It looks good. Everybody loves Zootopia, so it's the same kind of vibes. But anyway, the Avatar trailer, um, Fire and Ash, I think that's what it's called. I have not seen still Way of Water. And was Way of Water the second one or the third one?
The second one.
Second one. Okay. I have not seen Way of Water still. And the Avatar trailer for Fire and Ash looked so cool. I don't know if it was the big screen lulling me in or what. It made me want to go watch Way of Water to like yeah, to like be like, "Oh yeah, Avatar, Avatar." So, I don't know. Maybe it's just I have not seen anything Pandora-esque for so long that I was like, "Dang, this looks really good."
I've seen Way of Water. I saw it in theaters, and
Hmm.
then I've seen clips of it on regular TV. I feel like all the avatars you should watch in a theater. Because it's
Mm,
like you're not watching a movie, you're watching a movie. Like how I
yeah.
feel like this is especially true for Way of Water. That's you're not it's how do I explain that? There's less plot than there is just watching. You're just
It's
watching,
a
right?
cinematic experience.
I think
I
that
I
all
understand
of
what you're saying.
the future ones will be incredibly similar in this vibe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe it's something about the theater. I love going to the movie theater. I was the only person in this theater, and I loved it.
Was that the first time that's ever happened?
I think it may be the first time that I was the absolute only person. I think there have been plenty of times that I've been like, oh, there's like one or two other people, but there was nobody in here. It was just me, and
I've never been the only person. I've never even been the only group, like my group.
mm,
Always there's been a few people.
I was
But
obsessed. I loved
I
it.
guess the movie did it come out 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago?
It came out July 25th.
Hmm. It's like a week ago.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, and then the second trailer was the Tron Ares trailer. Okay, so Tron, love Tron. Tron's amazing. This trailer, I was watching it going, okay, first of all, Tron is like good. I'm not like a huge Tron person, but like Tron's good. The Tron Legacy, there were some parts of that movie where I was like, okay. Like the Michael Sheen's character, like his old like DJ dance party vibes. I was like, okay. And then I have more recently watched the old Tron, and it just is, it's like it's got the old movie vibes. But like Tron itself is a cool concept, and the lighting in Tron is like the coolest part because it's like super dope, whatever. The Tron and have you seen the teaser trailer for Tron Ares? Oh, you haven't seen anything? So
Nothing.
the teaser trailer was the bikes in the real world, and you were like, oh shoot, Tron in the real world? What? But
True.
yeah, but just a teaser trailer, so that's basically all you got. This trailer for Tron Ares made me so excited to see this movie. It was so cool. Like it was just the most Tron thing you have ever seen in the best way possible. I was all over it. It was so cool. I was like, this is incredible. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like I cannot wait. So if it is bad, I'm gonna be so sad. I need to not get my hopes up. I need to not get my hopes up.
The movies have not been good lately, but the
Mm.
trailers have also not been good lately. So
Okay, well, here's the thing. I feel like trailers recently have been incredible, and then the movies have been bad. So, so that's scary. Mm. But like what did we say? What were we talking about? We were talking about a movie that the trailer looked so good and then the movie was just terrible.
the the show that you went and saw, the girly show with
Oh,
Pedro
okay.
Pascal.
Materialist. The
Yeah,
trailer was not, or the movie was not bad, but the trailer did give different advertising. So there's that. So if Tron Ares is bad, it's gonna be it's gonna be gut-wrenching because this trailer was awesome. It was awesome. I think it comes out in October. So it's coming up. It's coming up. Oh, okay. Should we actually get into Fantastic Four?
yes, we're good.
Everybody knows that I have been saying for months that I thought Fantastic Four was going to be a terrible movie. And I thought this because, first of all, the MCU has not been doing great recently. They had Thunderbolts, which was good, but it still did not make back all of its money because I feel like okay, Thunderbolts was good. It did have a huge budget, but also because the MCU has been in a hole, I feel like not as many people bothered to go see it, and also, the internet has been like superhero fatigue is like a big thing right now. Although James Gunn recently got asked this question where he was like, "Oh, how do you feel about superhero fatigue?" And he was like, "I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I believe in bad movie fatigue," which is 100% the case. Like, it's not about superheroes, it's about quality films. And MCU has not been putting out a lot of those recently. Since Endgame, I would say there's been, you could probably count them on one hand, good, like good MCU movies. And there's
I'll
been a
agree.
lot since Endgame. So MCU has been in a hole, and I said, I don't know,
What year did Endgame come out?
20, 2018. Let's Google. Let's do
That's
a quick
crazy. That's so far away.
2019.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's here. MCU movies since Endgame. Um, No Way Home, that was good. Um, I would say the Black Widow movie was good.
I did not like the Black Widow movie.
Shang-Chi was
I
good.
also didn't like that movie.
Shang-Chi, the ending was not great for me, but you know, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder, those were not ver and Eternals were not really good. Um, so yeah, you kind of got a mixed bag. Quantumania was not good. Um, Trying to think of what else came out. Anyway, so MCU has really been not great. And and some of the trailers for this movie, I was like, I don't love it. I don't love what's going on. Um, and I will talk about some of the trailer editing versus the movie in the spoilers bit. But so I just wasn't sold. I wasn't sold. And again, I like the original Fantastic Four movie in that came out in 2005 or whatever it was. The remake with Miles Teller, not good. That wasn't good. We just forget about that movie. It was not good. But I like the OG Fantastic Four. I don't know if I've ever seen the sequels to the 2005 or whichever one it was. But I also hear those are terrible. So, not gonna maybe I'll watch them one day, not gonna bother. But so in my mind, they have a high bar with Fantastic Four because everybody loves the Fantastic Four characters. And I feel like there was a lot going on in the trailers. Um, and I just wasn't sold. The movie centers around obviously the Fantastic Four, but the Richards have a baby. So the baby is a bit. Have you seen the trailers?
I know I've seen a trailer, but I
Okay.
none of this is familiar, and I don't actually know what's in the trailer. So maybe I haven't, and I just made it up.
Okay, well, this is not a spoiler because in more than one trailer, it talks about how Sue is pregnant, and then in another trailer, you see the baby. So you know at some point the baby is born during the movie. Okay, so there's that. It centers around the Fantastic Four, and it centers around Galactus. Galactus is gonna destroy their world, and they gotta stop Galactus. Okay? Let me just start off by saying I thought this movie was going to be terrible, and I was wrong. I was wrong. This movie was actually pretty good. However, it was not a perfect movie. I'm gonna give it 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. So pretty good.
That's less than Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I'd probably have to rewatch them back to back. Did I give Thunderbolts an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Similarly to
Yeah.
Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
the ending of this movie was um the least good of the whole movie. I would say the hour, first half of this movie, incredible. Delicious, loved it. It was so good. This movie, like I said with Superman, super comic-y. Like it looks incredible. It halfway through, I realized it was reminding me of The Incredibles. Because this movie is set in the 60s And you know how The Incredibles, like the first bit of Incredibles is like these superheroes and they're going through all the superheroes and it's very, I don't know when is Incredibles takes place. I feel
Um,
like
like
around the
when
same
does the
time.
beginning take place?
The Incredibles? No, like the just the movie.
Oh, like
I feel like
90s,
around
2000s?
no. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, the beginning then, when they're all superheroes.
So then 20 years earlier, which if it's the 90s, that could be the 70s.
Okay, so
70s checks out.
Similar vibes. Fantastic Four takes place in the 60s, and it was very 60s. And the whole beginning bit is like, because it's not the origin story of how they became fantastic, it's this new family Stop Galactus story, which again, I like that we're not just redoing movies and telling the same origin stories over and over again because we know who these characters are. We don't care. Like, we get it. Um, but um so not origin story. What was I talking? Oh yeah, set in the 60s. It's shot really well and the colors just pop off the page like a comic book. I and like the way things look, it's so 60s, it's so retro. Like the like Reed Richards writes on blackboards throughout the entire movie. The blackboards are like curved to be very like comic booky, like every those little details just made it so enjoyable to watch that like it was so good. It was very comic booky, and I think that is the way that superhero movies need to be going towards more because like we've had so many superhero movies and like Superman did this and now Fantastic Four did this. Go back to the roots of the comics and make something different and something pop and something incredible and you're gonna have a winner. So I absolutely loved the comic book, the set. And for me, I said this again, I said it in Superman, when it's more comic book-esque, I'm not finding myself catching up on the things that like wouldn't be believable in like real life, you know? Like I
Yeah.
didn't I just I like I couldn't think of a specific example, but for like other superhero movies, I'm like, okay, come on. Like, well, I guess one thing is like everybody complains about how like entire cities get destroyed in like big fight scenes and stuff. And I don't find myself thinking about those nitpicky things when it's like, oh, this is like a superhero comic movie. But whatever. So yeah, so the first beginning bit of the movie is they're kind of doing like montage type like these are how showing them all their superpowers and like how everybody loves them and they're all fantastic and the story of how they got their powers whatever. And something that I do like in this movie versus the original Fantastic Four, and again, I'll just put a little asterisk next to everything I say. I don't know the comics, okay? I just go off the movies and some stuff that I see online. So I know I like the things that I do know about the comics are things that I've read online about them or heard other people talk about or whatever.
Read or watched
Or
reels on?
articles. I read articles sometimes. So in the original Fantastic Four movie, they go up into the space station because like actually correct me if I'm wrong. Not all they're just there because like Ben is the one doing the stuff, like he goes into space or whatever. And Johnny's brother or Johnny, not brother. Sue's there. They're all smart, but like they're not astronauts set to go on this mission. They kind of just all happen to be there.
I thought it was just like they needed people with abilities and they like knew vaguely. So like Johnny's there because he's like what, a pilot, but he's also there just because he's the brother.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. Like they are smart, but like in this one it is specifically said like they are all like scientists, smart. They all went up as astronauts to like do this mission or whatever. So I was like, okay, I like that because then it makes more sense of why they're all in space or whatever. But anyway, um, I would also say the CGI in this movie is very good. Is pretty good. Galactus looks really good. He looks to me, it reminded me of did you see What If?
Like the
The,
show,
yeah, the show.
I seen a handful of episodes.
Okay. Well, there's a character in What If that's like don't even remember his name. He's like the all-powerful whatever and he's like in space guy. He
Oh yeah, yeah. What is his name?
but he has like those glowing eyes. That guy. Reminiscent of that because he's like have you seen the popcorn bucket?
No.
No, okay. So he's the shape of the popcorn bucket, like his helmet is the popcorn bucket, whatever. But he looks like an all-powerful being, whatever, but he has these glowing eyes. And so the reveal of Galactus is very cool. He looks good. CGI was good. There's a couple moments throughout the movie where I was like, oh, that you can definitely tell that's CGI going on here, but overall, the CGI was good. So, you know.
Is so I ain't seen it. I think I did make up watching the trailer, but I know I've seen the poster where like the thing is much smaller. That's because he's CGI, right? Or
Yes.
mostly.
He is the shape of a normal. He's like normal man size, maybe a little bit bigger. He's like a big guy size. Because Eben Moss, who plays the thing, did motion capture. So he's all CGI. But yeah, he's not giant. Um, which I'll get into the specific characters because the casting of this movie, when the casting came out for this movie, I was not sold on the four. Love Sue Storm, and I liked Eben as the thing. I was not sold on Pedro, and I was not sold on Joseph Quinn. Joseph Quinn, after seeing the movie, I think he does a good job. Um, because I was comparing it to the OG Fantastic Four, and I think they all do an incredible job of um being more as a collective unit in this movie. Every character has moments with everybody. It's not like, oh, Reed Richards and just Sue hang out, and Sue and Johnny just hang out because they're brother and sister, and like they all have moments with each other, which works really well because they feel like a tight team unit. Um, but the one thing that I was like struggling with a little bit was so like in the OG, Johnny is the funny guy. And in this one, they have the Thing and Johnny both being comedic, which is fine. It balances out well. You don't have like just the one comedic relief with a bunch of serious people. I think it all balances well. However, they have a lot of it coming from the Thing, and a big thing that is like reoccurring is clobbering time, obviously, because that's like his catchphrase. And in this movie, the thing is like a yeah, go with the flow, cool kind of guy, makes jokes, whatever, but he can never unironically say it's clobbering time. And that bothered me because if he's gonna be this cool, funny guy, like he should be able to say it's clobbering time because little spoiler really quick, he does say it eventually in the movie, but then it's not this big like, oh, he said the thing, because like his character isn't that kind of character. I don't know. That bothered me. That bothered me because
You
I'm
think
like,
they were just picking and choosing?
yeah, like it didn't feel fully committed to either of those guys being the full comedic whatever. But so that's just a little nitpicky thing. It wasn't like that didn't take points off for me for the whole movie. One character that I loved was the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer, incredible in this movie. I love the look, the like how she commands herself. She has like a little backstory bit in this movie, which is fine, but that's not why I like Silver Surfer. Um, I don't know, she just felt really cool and like she's not a character that I know super well. I know comic book Silver Surfer is very loved in the OG. Well, they have different timelines, and I know there's a boy, and I think there's a girl in different timelines. This timeline is the girl, and from what I've read, it will be the girl for always. They're not gonna do different timelines for the girl and the boy, whatever, Silver Surfer. Um, and they take the name Silver Surfer literally, and she has some pretty cool scenes surfing, which is perfect. If you're gonna have the Silver Surfer, use the Silver Surfer. So she was one of my favorites in this whole movie. Um, yeah. Um, let's see if I have anything else before I get into spoilers. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna officially say this is spoilers from here on out. Um, yes, spoilers. Yeah. Okay. First thing, not really I mean, we're officially into spoilers, but like this is not huge. Sue is pregnant. Okay, we've already talked about this, and she has the baby during the movie, which the giving birth baby scene is one of the most is one of the big scenes in the movie, and I don't think it's bad. I think it is actually really good and it works well. There's a lot of things going on, but like it all works together. However, I have a problem. This is another nitpicky thing. It didn't really take points off for me, but I gotta get it out there. Sue is very, very pregnant, okay? They go into space when she is very, very pregnant. And they're like, oh, so Silver Surfer comes down and she's like, Galactus is gonna come eat your world, so everybody say your goodbyes, and I'll see you later. Peace out. She leaves. The Fantastic Four are like, we gotta go stop Galactus. All four of them go into space to go meet Galactus to be like, why are you doing this? Don't do this. Why on earth is Sue Storm going into space that pregnant? That is crazy to me. Like,
Who's gonna tell her no? And who would she listen like?
Reed Richards.
Yeah, but she won't listen to him. She'll just
Mm,
be like, "Are you kidding
no.
me?"
And while they're in space to go meet Galactus, Galactus is like, that baby you're about to have, I want it. So, okay, I'll get into that in a second, but he's like, I want that baby. And so in my mind, I'm going, would this not have happened if she didn't go into space with that baby? Like again, I don't know that. I mean, there would be no movie if this wasn't here, but I'm just saying, what are we doing? And also, she's in like mega fights too later, like, girl, you're pregnant. You're pregnant. Stay home. Anyway, um, so yeah, the baby situation. Galactus says, I'm not gonna eat your world if you give me the baby, because this is one thing I know from the comics. In the comics, Franklin, he's the baby's name, Franklin Richards is like one of the most powerful beings ever in all the comics. Like he's basically like a god. Like he can do any and all things. I don't know the extent of his powers, but like he is mega powerful. Okay? Mega. So the Galactus is like that baby is so powerful enough that he can Galactus again, I don't know the origin of Galactus, but based off this movie, this is what I got from it. He he was originally a man and then became this guy, and he now has to consume worlds to feed his hunger, but he's like enslaved. He doesn't want this life. So he's like, the baby can consume my hunger so I can stop doing this and just stop because he's like tired of it. So he's like, the baby, I need the baby. And they're like, you can't have our baby. And they get out of there. And they go back to Earth, and Earth is like, so did you save us? And they're like, no, Galactus wanted our baby, and we said no, so he's still coming to get the Earth. And everybody's like, what the heck? Just give him your baby. Like, save everybody, give them your baby. Which they didn't need to tell everybody that Galactus wanted the baby. That they did that all by
I wouldn't have
themselves.
told everybody.
Yeah, that was a mistake on their part, probably. But yeah, so then the whole second half of this movie is them trying to figure out a way to stop Galactus, but also keeping Franklin safe. Um,
Step one, leave him at home.
exactly. So Sue has the baby. Never, never, never is it a good idea to CGI a baby. Okay?
I'll agree with that.
It never looks good. It never looks good. It was a bit of Renesmee going on, and you know who that is? It's the baby in Twilight.
I never seen that.
It's on our list, guys. I'm gonna get back at it. We're gonna do a live reaction to
The
Twilight one of these
baby's name
days.
is Renesmee.
Renesmee, because she combined both of their mom's name, Renee and Esme. I don't think Esme something. They combined names and it's Renesmee. But Renesmee is one of the worst looking CGI, just anything I have ever seen in my entire life. It's so scary and so creepy. And this baby in this movie, first of all, the baby is like a year old, it's fully grown, which I get it. You can't have newborns in a movie, but it's a big baby, okay? Like that was not okay. Second of all, CGI babies don't look good. Just don't do it.
They CGI'd a 1-year-old baby.
No, no. Okay, so like when the baby is born, you're like this CGI baby. This is CGI baby. And then the baby is in the second half of the movie and it's like a big 1-year-old baby. And you're like, um, I'm just gonna use my suspension of disbelief to believe this isn't your newborn baby.
They're always big. They're always much older. I always
Yes,
think it's funny where it's like, oh, we need a baby for this movie. Like, who on the cast is about to give birth? Like,
yeah.
is it like
No,
that,
and
or is it like I have a 1-year-old. He's
it
available
was
for
I
one
have a
week.
1-year-old. Use him because there are scenes. I get it. I get it. I understand the logistics of how getting a newborn baby in a movie. I understand it. So like when I see like a young baby, like in the months kind of baby, I'm like, dang, they got a young baby. That's pretty cool. This baby was fully grown.
It's a
Fully,
fully grown
fully
baby.
grown baby. That was not acceptable. Like, and maybe I missed it. I'm gonna say 99% sure I didn't miss it. There was no time jumps. It was they had the baby, they had the whole CGI bit, whatever, and then it was a fully grown 1-year-old. Um, excuse me. Um, tell me somebody else noticed this.
A baby's a baby.
Oh. Anyway, and I was like, this is Renesmee all over again, but worse. Would I rather have bad CGI baby or would I have 1-year-old? I don't know.
1-year-old. I would rather have 1-year-old.
I don't know. I don't know.
Cause you know when they have those scenes and it's like a 2-year-old and they just like cover him in slime. You're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, so the baby is he's a big part of the movie, but he's a big booger. Anyway, that bothered me. Um, which the baby giving up to save the Earth does pose a good dilemma. It's a good problem for the movie to have to solve. So then they're trying to figure out
But
how to.
but
Oh,
one baby
that's
versus
what I'm saying.
all of the babies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Good dilemma. Um, and then the second half of this movie is them trying to figure out how to stop Galactus without giving up the baby, which the ending does fall short for me a little bit because it felt like a lot of we're doing this, or that doesn't work, we're doing this, or that doesn't work, we're doing this. Like it was just over and over and over again. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't good, if that makes sense. I would
Noted.
say that the very end of this movie, so like Galactus Um, I'm gonna say, well, I kind of want to, yeah, we'll just get into the ending. Um, actually, it doesn't matter. I was gonna talk about Ben's girlfriend. She doesn't matter. I wrote down, do we need Ben's girlfriend? And that's really all you should know. Do we need this character? Anyway,
Noted.
noted. Um, the ending, so they figure out that they're like, because Reed Richard figures out how to teleport stuff in the middle of the movie, and they're like, oh my gosh, we can teleport Galactus into the middle of nowhere and save our Earth. First, they were gonna teleport the world somewhere else, and then that plan gets ruined. Um, and then they were like, oh my gosh, we can trick Galactus into going into this portal and we can teleport him into the middle of nowhere. Okay, so they're like working on this plan, and um Galactus is like he's pretty big. He's a big guy, bigger than a building type Galactus, okay? So he's like, getting ready. He's no dummy. He doesn't fall for their trickery plan, whatever. He's going to get Franklin, gets his hand on Franklin the baby, and Sue gets into this mom mode and she's like, "Give me back my baby." And he's like, "No way." And so they're having this fight, whatever. I would say, I would say in general, Sue is pretty powerful in this movie. She can do a lot of stuff with her powers. I don't know, like, if you list them on paper,
And
what
isn't
exactly
she
that
just
entails.
invisible?
That's what you would think, but no. She can like move stuff and all that jazz. Yeah, she can. So she starts like moving Galactus and she's like tapping into her like mom strength and she's like trying to save her baby. So she's like pushing Galactus backwards into the machine that is going to teleport him away. And everybody is like helping her like along the way, like the things like knocking down buildings so Galactus can't stand up and Johnny's like, catching him on fire. Anyway, uh I would say they all use their powers pretty efficiently in this movie. Like you do get to see everybody use their powers in a good way, which is good. Um Sue pushes Galactus into this machine. Some other stuff happens, but this is what I'm talking about. She pushes him into the scene. It uses all of her energy. They finally get Galactus into the energy. Reed Richards swoops up the baby. Baby is safe. Sue falls to the ground, dies. Okay? Becca's making a face. Sue dead. And what's the rule about killing somebody off in a movie, Becca?
What is the rule?
You know the rule. Come on, you know it.
Make sure they're dead?
No. The best way to kill somebody off is when they have more potential.
Oh, yeah, I knew
Yeah.
that.
Okay? So I'm thinking, hey, Sue Storm is dead. This was this was okay. Okay. I'm not mad that she's dead in the sense that they killed her off in an effective way that I now care about her death because she had more potential. She did it in an epic way, yada yada whatever. And you know me. I'm if I see somebody genuinely crying over a death, that gets me.
Hannah,
Um,
the only person in the movie theater, just completely sobbing.
I was not crying, because because I'll get into that in a second.
Do they still have, in the movie theater where like they have the projector when it's like a real projector, they have a guy in there. Do they still have guys in there? Was there just one guy in there watching just you watch the movie?
How would I know? I look through the
That's
window. That'd be crazy.
hilarious. Yeah, I look through the window. I say, "How are there guys in there?"
Anyway, so Reed Richards is crying. He like sets Franklin on his mom because Franklin's not crying. Franklin, all powerful being, although has done nothing to show it in this movie yet. So we're like, is he powerful? I don't know. Well, I just
He's
wanted him, but
also a baby.
he's a baby. And so everyone's crying, whatever. Franklin, laying on his mom's stomach now, gives her life, and Sue Storm's alive again. Now listen, I I I understand. I understand why they did that. It was to show that Franklin has powers and to show that he's like super mega cool or whatever. But something that the MCU needs to stop doing immediately is killing people off and bringing them back to life because you lose all the credibility with that. Okay? How many times have they killed Loki and brought him back? Everybody's over it. Everybody's over it. You have now taken death that meant something and you have just completely gotten rid of it and made me feel like that was a waste of my time to see that death. I understand you needed to show Franklin had powers, but either kill her or don't. Don't kill her and bring her back. I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. Okay? So that was my biggest like, no, I didn't like that at all in the movie. Okay? I get it. Franklin's powerful. You could have shown that some other way. It could have been an end credit thing. We didn't need to know that Franklin had powers in the movie for the movie to have the same story and impact or whatever. It could have been like an end credit look at him moving some things with his mind or whatever. Okay? Just so that we know Franklin has powers. You could have literally done anything else. So that was my biggest thing. Like, you should have killed her, or you should have not. Okay? The reason why I wasn't crying when Sue Storm was dying and Reed Richards was crying over her body, it was a good performance, but I wasn't crying because I feel like I didn't really care about these characters. Like, I don't
She's
know.
over
I
it.
I don't know if it was the fact that I wasn't in love with the Fantastic Four group for watching this movie, or because I thought the movie was going to be bad, so I had prejudice against it, or if the movie itself just like not a super touching movie to me. Like I don't know if I could pinpoint what it is. Just didn't care truly care about these characters enough for that moment to be a big impact. There was one time in the entire movie that I was like, oh, like I kind of feel a little bit some way about this character, and it was with Ben because he like, in the OG Fantastic Four, he struggles with looking like a rock. Naturally, why wouldn't you? There's like one scene in this movie that's reminiscent of him like, struggling that way. That was the only time in the entire movie that I like really was like, oh, I care about this character. I thought Silver Surfer was cool, but like I didn't really care, you know? So that dropped points for me in this movie that it was just like it was good, but like it wasn't great. Like I don't know, I couldn't tell you why. And to me, you should care about a great movie. And and that's that.
I'll
And
agree
that
with
was the
that.
yeah, and that was the end of the movie. Um yeah. The end credit scenes, the very, very end credit scene is just like a little cartoon, whatever, doesn't matter. The mid credit scene is Franklin Sue Storm, like they're like reading a book. Sue goes to get up a different, comes back, sees Franklin with Doctor Doom. You don't see his face, you just see the mask and his cloak, whatever, but you're like, this is Doctor Doom. And then you just see him with Doctor Doom. So obviously we know Doomsday is coming, and um now I'm assuming Franklin is going to be a big plot point in Doomsday. But what that will be, I don't know. If Doomsday is bad again, I'll just lose my mind because anyway, Doomsday, it's all up in the air. What could happen, I don't know. The one thing I was like, you've seen Thunderbolts, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the end credit scene of Thunderbolts, they're hanging out in a loft or whatever, and they see the Fantastic Four ship coming into Earth.
Yeah.
Before this movie came out, a bunch of people online were like, that end credit scene ruined the movie Fantastic Four because we know what's going to happen now. They were speculating that they knew the Fantastic Four movie was going to, or okay, so they said it ruined the movie, spoiled the movie um, because the Fantastic Four is now, they exist on different timelines. So the Fantastic Four is coming to this timeline because their world was destroyed by Galactus. Did not happen in this movie, but people were speculating that's what was going to happen and why they were having to come to the Earth. But now it's like, oh, is is Doctor Doom gonna take Franklin? And so that's now why they're coming. There's like all this like what does the scene in Thunderbolts actually mean? Like what's happening? Was that just a little ooh, Fantastic Four, a little cameo? The director of this movie has come out and said he had no idea that scene was in Thunderbolts. Like he was not aware of it when he was doing this movie, because it hadn't been written when he was doing Fantastic Four. So in my mind, it means nothing. Okay? But that's another thing that like I'm like, okay, if we have movies that are crossing over and we're all working towards this accumulation to Doomsday, I feel like there should be some talking between the different movie
Yeah,
groups.
you'd think it would be made by the same people.
Yeah, you know, you'd think there'd be communication, but apparently not. So that alone does not make me um super what's the word? Like I don't know how to feel about it. I hope it's
Not
good.
excited.
I really hope it's good, but you never know.
I I still don't think it will be.
It could be the biggest flop Marvel has ever had because there's so many characters in it. But oh, here's the other thing. Kevin Feige has come out and said that after um Secret Wars, which is after Doomsday, pretty sure.
Which that's still a dumb name.
After
Stupid.
Secret Wars, they are going to be resetting the MCU, meaning,
Don't tell us that.
well, no, like meaning they're gonna like be recasting major characters like Iron Man, Captain America, like it's gonna be full reset. What exactly that means, we don't know. But like he has said, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be, we're gonna go back to one timeline. So does that mean we're wiping the slate clean? Does that mean that we're just gonna like, pretend like this didn't happen and make a new timeline? I- It's all over the place.
Here's what I think. I think the consumers don't need any more Marvel. The problem is Marvel is kind of banking on making more Marvel. You can't just stop. So what do they do? Let's just reset it. Let's just make the Marvel that we made. Now we've made more Marvel.
Yeah. So the future of the MCU is truly up in the air, and I
But
am
like
glad to say was wrong about this movie. It was not terrible, but
if if after Doomsday I never see another new Marvel movie, I think I'd be fine with that.
I think we've got to have at least one or two more good Marvel movies to officially say Marvel is back. But again, Marvel could lose us just quickly as it could in the past. So you never you never know. Alrighty. I feel like I've talked your ear off too long. And will you watch this movie? Maybe not in theaters, but just eventually.
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.